Hello, it's Braden Wilson. This is my video how-to or demonstration speech, and today I'm going to show you how to show a rabbit. Now, please realize that he is very young. He's not used to this, so if you see him being repositioned a lot, it's just because he's new. He's very new at this. Um, for those of you who don't know, I've been raising rabbits for 8 years, and we show rabbits at our local county fair. So we have pet stock and we've got show stock. He comes from two show rabbits, so he should know what to do already. But as he is very young, we haven't trained him in how to be a show rabbit yet, so this might be a little weird. Basically, what happens when you show a rabbit is you're giving it a health check, like a really basic, very simple health check, and what you do is you start at the head and you move back to the tail. And they keep their tails tucked in, so we have to pull it out so we can look at it. And then you flip them over and you start again. So, when we start at the nose and we're looking for any signs of runniness. Like humans do when we have the common cold. Rabbits get it too, except for them it's more of a serious thing as there is no cure. So if a rabbit does have a common cold, it'll die. And it's important to check every rabbit for it because it's highly contagious and it could spread to an entire herd and just kill them all. So that's why we check that. We check that nose to make sure that nobody has that sign because it transfers very quickly. Next, we'll move over to the eyes. And when we check the eyes, we're looking for any signs of blindness, cloudy spots, moon eye, which is a glossy film over the entire eyeball instead of just spots in the pupil or on the iris. Next, we'll move back to the ears, and then when we check the ears, we're checking for any signs of ear mites, which are tiny, minuscule bugs that manifest themselves as rips, tears, or scars in the skin in the fold of the ear. And if we do find across one of those, we just put some mineral oil on it, and that dislodges them, and it helps clear up. Next, we check the fur. And what you're checking for fur is essentially the same as ear mites, except they're called fur mites. And they'll burrow into the skin at the base of the fur, and then what you get is there's rips, tears, scabs in the skin, a bunch of crusty stuff. It just detracts from how the rabbit looks, and it also can be a sign of more infection. When we're done with all this, we move back here to the tail. Now, you wouldn't think that the tail is an indicator of bad health, but it really can be. So most of the time when we have a rabbit tail, it sits like this. They tuck it up right here against the butt, so it forms a nice profile. But if a rabbit is unhealthy, the tail will exhibit one of two signs. One is screw tail, where it's wound up like this, like a corkscrew, and the other is wry tail, where the tail is kinked off to the side, so a normal straight tail looks like this, and a wry tail is that. So it's all the way to the side, almost like a 90-degree angle. Those are both signs of a bigger infection. Now we're gonna flip them over. Okay, so from here, it can be a little easier to control the rabbit because it's not open. You've got him by the ears and kind of by the scruff here. It's more of a grabbing the shoulders, just the entire part of the shoulder here. So don't worry, he's fine. Again, you can check the nose from here. It's generally a little easier to see discharge because it's facing right at you instead of having to tilt your head around. But generally, a lot of people start with the teeth. Now, the teeth can be another big sign of bad health in a rabbit because, like all lagomorphs and rodents, rabbits' teeth always constantly grow. They're constantly going at a rate of 7 inches a year. So, imagine if a rabbit's teeth weren't ground down 7 inches a year in a year. If you didn't have anything to hold it back, the rabbit would die because its teeth would shoot up through its brain. So you check to see that nothing looks off there, and when you check here, you're just checking to see that the teeth match like they should, and that none are there's no gaps that formed in between the teeth skewed off to the side, or the teeth overlapping bottom over front instead of front over bottom. So it's just a general health check here. Next, you check the legs, and again, you wouldn't really think about this, but seriously. When you check the legs, all you're checking for is to see if they're broken, which can lead to the death of a rabbit through the fact that they can't get to their food. And generally, when you check the legs, all you have to do is push up and check to see that they're straight. If they're not straight, they'll be curving off like that, and he would have screamed when I pushed up because they're moving that bone forcefully. On the stomach, you're doing exactly the same thing up here. You're just checking for any lumps and bumps, actually, which is signs of tumors and abscesses, which, as we all know, can kill even humans if you have a tumor or abscess in the wrong place. You'll repeat the same thing you did with the front legs down here at the bottom. Just push them straight out. Check that they're straight. He didn't scream, so he's good. And that's pretty much the end. I mean, you do check the unmentionables, but we're not going to do that here. So, right. Thank you for your time. Hope you enjoyed. Have fun.